Again, Davis Waithaka here. I have a very tiny exercise you can start with. I think people who are sitting on, everybody try open mwikiprimary.sc.ke. Mwiki is a place near Kasarani. mwikiprimary.sc.ke. Then somebody else try and open hospitalhill.sc.ke. I think the first person to get Mwiki should shoot up their hand. The first person to get hospitalhill.sc.ke should shoot up their hand. Sorry? Yes, a prize. Which one have you opened? Hospital Hill or Mwiki Primary? Mwiki Primary. Quickly look and see whether there's anything about Mwiki Primary that you've learned from that website that you didn't know before. Anybody on Hospital Hill? Hospital Hill? Something you've learned, something new that you didn't know about. What is it? By? It's powered by Lukenya University. Good. June, something you've learned? Yeah. Wow. You found homework on the Mwiki Primary website, so you can buy it. Awesome. Has anybody been able to open for Hospital Hill? Irene? Is there anything you've learned from the Hospital Hill website that you didn't already know about Hospital Hill? They have AI learning. Then you can go further to Coast. I think those two are in Nairobi. There is voieducationalcenter.sc.ke, and we'll come to talking about domain naming, how simple they should be. voieducationalcenter.sc.ke. Voi, kule kwa Chief Kivoi. Voi Educational Center. Or Education Center. Educational Center. Can you? Yeah, you Googled it or you've just gone direct? Yes. Has anybody been able to open the Voi one? Again, Irene. Anybody else? Name? Sorry? Catherine. So in a space of 4 minutes, we've gone from Mwiki to Hospital Hill, and we've gone to the coast of Kenya in Voi. I think you can go all the way to the coast in Lamu, and that's what we do. That is taking schools online, so that the schools can be accessible the same way Gmail is accessible, Facebook is accessible, KCB is accessible to us. But question is, can we take all schools online? So I have a very small, I'll not call it small, presentation. I've been told to keep it, now it's 15 minutes. I have a very small presentation. I want, by the end of this presentation, to ask a simple question. Is it possible for all schools in the country to experience what we've just done here? That you can say, I went to this primary school, kindly check it on myprimaryschool.sc.ke, and you can see the history, you can see things that you didn't understand. The person who opens Voi, you'll see, where is it located? They have a very strange name of the village. Catherine. Have you seen the name of the village that they are located? Sorry? Tanzania something? Tanzania, Bondeni? Is this information that you had before today? Or you've known today? You've seen it from the website? Good. So we are taking schools online because in this room, if you can lift your hand and say, in my primary school I went to, I can find my school online, the this high school I went to, I can find it online, we'll have done our job. If at this point you can't do the same, we are yet to do our work. So about Elimu Holdings. Elimu was started about 16 years ago now, I think 2008, and you had a very simple mission: connect every school to the world. Simple. The same way we've done this conversation about Mwiki Primary, I could right now be in China. I could be looking for grant funding for that school. And I'll tell the Chinese investors or the Chinese grantors, kindly look at Mwiki Primary, go to the page called Strategic Plan, they have a gap of $1 million. Please help them. No Chinese person will have to take a plane to go and see Mwiki Primary. So we started Elimu Holdings for this very simple purpose: connect every school to the world. But why? We believe that education by itself is the simple, most important tool that we can give our country. But technology can help bring education to every person on this continent. And it is for that reason that we started the Taking Schools online program, where our goal is to build websites, the ones that we've talked about. Thank you. The ones that we've talked about for 100,000 schools in Africa. Not just Kenya, 100,000 schools in Africa. Well, of course, I have to put one of the biggest and most powerful statements from the father of Africa, Free Africa. And he actually said that, those same words, that education is the most powerful tool that we can have. That's why we are passionate about it. And you know that technology is going to get us there. But what about our Taking Schools online? Okay, I think the batteries here are a bit low. Could you forward me to the next slide? And now let me come to a bit of nitty-gritties about the Taking Schools online program. I'm assuming that's what is there. About the Taking Schools online program. So on top of being very, very particular about what we do, we believe that we have to work with partners. In this particular instance, we've partnered with Ajira Digital to give us about 100 young people. The thing I was talking about here is that before we were able to get Mwiki Primary online, we had to go have a conversation with the head teacher. We have to have this conversation with 40,000 head teachers across the country. It is impossible for us to do it alone. But we can leverage partnerships like the Ajira Digital, the one we're doing, to get about 50 to 100 young people at any given time. And our goal is to do about 1,000 schools in this current financial year, so that we see, can we build a model that is both sustainable, scalable, and doable. And it is those partners that allow us to cover what we can call initial costs of running this program. Of course, there are many things that have been spoken about on why it's important to get the schools online. June already found homework on that school's website. June could be a parent at Mwiki Primary. But she could also be a teacher. She could be the one putting the homework on that website. But our children could also be students in those schools. Are we able to have one portal, one official place for every school? The Secretary to the Cabinet, Mercy Wanjau, asked during COVID, when schools were closed, the big problem was, where do we go? And we have to now start creating that reality, that every school has an official online presence, that if there is maandamano on Wednesday, parents are not gambling with their children. They can quickly open their website and find, is the school open today or not? And even in my own household, we are getting late night text messages from the school telling us whether the school bus is coming or not. But if you are to confirm, you do not have a place to actually confirm that that text came from the school, because sometimes it has come from a personal number. So the reason that schools need to be online is because we need that one official portal for all those schools. This is, unfortunately, this place is so, I'll be here. So, what are the key values that you're delivering to stakeholders? The stakeholders in a school are many: alumni, government people, members of the public, but there are three key ones. We have parents, we have teachers, and we have students. Now, I have listed a few value points or value perspectives for each, value propositions for each of the stakeholders. But that slide cannot do justice. We talk about education content, about the tools that the students can get. But there's one underlying value that I have to say, that it doesn't matter or should not matter that the school is in a highly developed town or is in the rural village. We must have a people or a group of partners who can be able to take these benefits down to the village school. But we don't do that, again, I say we don't do that alone. We do it with partners across the country. And I know digitization is a big topic, and all of us here are digitizing things from a broad perspective. For the TSO program, the Taking Schools Online program, we are very specific on what the schools get. The first thing is that they get a complete website under this country's CCTLD, or top-level domain name. So in Kenya, for instance, you'll find lamugirls.ac.ke or mwikiprimary.ac.ke that we had. In Rwanda, we'll do .rw. In South Sudan, where we are hoping to quickly move into, we'll be working with .ss. And that should be the same case for all 54 countries in Africa. In Kenya, we work with KENIC. In Rwanda, we work with Richter. In South Sudan, we work with the regulator. And we have to see how to get partnerships that are Africa-wide so that we can eventually do 100,000 schools. Now, picture getting a chemistry or a geography lesson about the Zambezi River by a geography teacher who actually neighbors Zambezi River. I mean, that's a beautiful vision for us, and something that even Europe have not been able to fully capture. We do not have a TSO in Europe yet, but maybe in the future we'll take a TSO to Europe. So the school gets a beautiful website that is under the country's top-level domain name. We also work with more partners in the publishing industry to provide subsidized education content, and we provide a lot of training and capacity building for the teachers and the staff in that school. Now, a lot of this capacity building has to be done, again, through partnerships. Because, like I said, in my company, I do not have enough legs to train all the teachers who need to be trained for this to be a reality. But with specific partnerships like the one we're doing with Ajira Digital, we can have hundreds of legs walking hundreds of kilometers, going into thousands of schools and training thousands of teachers on how to manage these websites. So a quick look at what that website actually looks like. Like I keep saying, that we have partners, and our partners appear on the website as brand sponsors. The website itself is very malleable, it's manageable, it's customizable for each school. But most importantly is that 90% of the information on every school website, so far we've done about 1,200 of them, 90% of that information comes from the school, and it's verified and uploaded by the school, managed by that school. Like I said, with this financial year, 2024-2025, I know the word financial year has become a bit of a anguka nayo term, but this financial year, 2024-2025, we plan to do about 1,000 schools in over 10 counties. That's the project map that we have. And with ICANN and AFTLD and other partners, with we will hope to do similar maps for more countries across Africa. Why? The technology gets cheaper as more schools adopt it. The marketing gets cheaper, the training gets cheaper. Everything gets cheaper the bigger you get. So we are constantly in search of partners who would align with getting all schools online. That is the Kenya map for 1 year. In due time, that whole map should be colored. We should not have any white spaces. And this map should be replicated in other countries in Africa with all the partnerships that we go into. For us, I don't want to overemphasize the reach and the impact that we have, but in our 16 years of being around, we've done websites for about 1,200 schools across Kenya. And I have to say that was with limited partnership. With renewed partnerships or with accelerated partnerships, we expect to do at least 1,000 in 1 year. More than 5 million people have used our websites or have visited our websites over the period. This number kind of doubles every few years, so we expect that this is going to grow. And we've had, the number is not there, but more than 100,000 different people have interacted with the items, as June has seen, about homework, assignments, from these websites. And this verifiable data that we have and that grows every day. I would be remiss if I did not say specifically, when we say that we are looking for partnerships, or we say that this program demands partnerships, I would be remiss not to say what that partnership will look like. One is that for all our partners, we provide specific web pages where they can use it as a communication tool or a PR, public relations tool, or even a marketing tool. On every website, we have dedicated pages for banking, dedicated pages for publishers, school uniform providers, etc., etc. And this is both national, regional, and local. Number two is for any organization that looks at impacting the Gen Z generation, Generation Z, sorry. We are working with young people straight out of college, straight out of campus. Some of them are straight out of high school, but maybe didn't get somewhere to go to. We give them digital tools, digital skills, entrepreneurial skills, and they stay with us for 2 to 6 months, going around the schools. And if an organization is passionate about youth, they can partner on that angle as well, and they can fund or they can provide the tools that these young people need to go to visit the schools and do the maintaining of the websites, updating of the websites, making those websites sustainable and usable. And finally, is that as you saw on the picture of the Alliance Girls website, there are branding opportunities again, and this is across all the 2,200 in total websites that we'll have. And hopefully, when we do the 100,000 websites across Africa, one truly lucky brand is going to sit on 100,000 websites, and we hope that to be a Kenyan brand. Thank you. I want to stop there. Mr. Gitawa, I hope I've done all the time.